What if camera manufacturers are Hollywood actors? First, Canon. I think Tom Hanks is Canon. He is talented and versatile, and obviously prestige in the acting arena. Very much like Canon, they both have been in their respective industries long enough to influence decisions just by mentioning their names. Though, just like Tom Hanks, Canon is becoming quite predictable. Despite all its might and talents, every product it releases is just a little boring. But occasionally, you will see something that's really have your jaws drop, like the 28-70 f2 zoom or the 85 1.2L RF. However, Canon still being Canon, just like Tom Hanks being Tom Hanks, everything that they make still sells, and people still praise its quality, and that is unlikely to change for some time. Second, let's talk about Nikon. Okay, here's another Tom, but this is the great Tom Cruise. He's obviously talented and of course very good looking, even at his age. I wish I can be as good looking as Mr. Cruise, but one thing I didn't mention is versatility. Because just like Tom Cruise, who always acts the same way, and even more boring than Canon. What's more, even at his age, Tom is still trying to stay relevant. Yep, it's by keeping his same image. So, does that sound familiar to you? Nikon has been trying hard, very hard to stay relevant over the past few years by updating its cameras, expanding its range just a little bit, but unfortunately too stubborn or brave enough to make a complete change in its strategy. Now with the two titans out of the way, let's have a look at our third candidate, a new titan in the making, and some may already believe that it should belong to the second place in the camera world, and that is Sony. So if I have to choose an actor to be Sony, it would have to be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Just like The Rock, who transformed himself from a pro wrestler to a pro actor and made an even bigger name for himself, Sony extended its game from making just TV and PlayStations to now cameras. And just like The Rock, it manages to create a whole new market to itself. And just like The Rock, Sony doesn't seem to slow down a bit and continues to produce hit after hit. Now, should I skip Fuji? Well, I know their loyal fanbase will send nuclear missiles over if I say something that they don't like to hear. Well, I've done the big boys already, I might as well do Fuji. However, it's quite difficult and quite hard to find one that fits the profile, unless I turn to the king, LeBron James. You may wonder why. King James is a NBA megastar, a future Hall of Famer, a talented basketball player. But he recently turned to the big screen and gave us Space Jam 2, a great pretender who uses his fame in basketball to sell tickets. Just like King James, Fujifilm was huge and influential with its analog films, but is using its name and heritage to sell their cameras, even making them look like an old vintage film cameras. Well, it works, but my thoughts are only on the APS-C cameras and not their medium format stuff. Panasonic, you've got to be Bruce Willis. Look, Bruce is a great guy, a talented actor, yet somehow fixed himself into a role that never changes. For the past 3 decades, he's been playing similar character. The truth is, he has the ability to change, to adapt, and perhaps be more versatile. But he didn't. The die-hard actor continues to play John McClane just under different names. So, like Bruce, Panasonic has been sticking with the same design formula since it started making cameras. Like Bruce, who has the same look in every movie, Panasonic has stuck with the same autofocus in every camera, even in a full-frame effort, which was the perfect place to start something new. It is certainly getting tiresome, though it's still Bruce Willis, and I still will grab a bag of popcorn and watch it when I have nothing else to watch. Olympus? Oh mine, Olympus, I have the perfect actor for you. Gillian Anderson. Well, during the X-Files days, Gillian was one of the most known actresses around. She's talented, certainly created a cult following when she was Agent Scully. Then under the same name, she appeared in a couple of X-Files movies that to many were flops. Well, at least to me. But after a long while, Gillian was floating around in Hollywood and didn't find a fit for anything. Until recently, when she found her new niche, in successful series like The Crown, Sex Education, and the upcoming series, The First Lady. Jillian somehow reinvents herself, and quite successfully. So Olympus kind of followed the same footsteps. Popular during its OM days and certainly created a bunch of loyal followers. Then came the 4/3 era, and the cameras didn't quite carry the same magic as the OM cameras that they created. See the X-Files similarity and the movies? Now, in their mirrorless effort, after a series of successes, Olympus is at a crossroad. A name change, hoping to reinvent itself. Will it become Jillian II? Have a successful third stint in the camera world? Well, we shall see. Pentax is Arnold Schwarzenegger, a big guy in any measurable dimension. A big personality, a big... whatever. Pentax was big. Like the former champion bodybuilder, Pentax has carved a soft spot in every photographer's heart. His famous line, "I'll be back," really suits Pentax reluctant to give up its DSLRs. Every few years, when people starting to forget the brand, they will release something new. Well, not quite new, just a repackaged old self in some new clothes. Just like Arnold's T800 Terminator keeps coming back in new clothes, despite the skin stop regenerating and age to the point that people start to wonder if it can still move. So Pentax, I don't want you to disappear. Please can you turn yourself into T1000, mold yourself into something else that pleases people. Now, I'm struggling to think for the remaining brands like Leica, Ricoh, Zeiss, and more. It is your turn. Let me know your thoughts about my selection and what would you have replaced if you have a better, more suitable candidate for each brand. Have some fun together. And this brings us to the end of this video, and don't forget to give me a thumb if you enjoyed it, and of course sub if you loved it. If you disliked my video, just hit the thumb down button twice. Peace.